Alright guys, we're back out here in the garage. So today we'll be doing lowering springs on a 2021 Toyota Supra. We've got the Eibach springs. So assuming you already know how to get it up in the air, we got it up on stands ready to go. So we're gonna dive right into it. Alright, so just coming back over to the bench here, we'll go to the unboxing. We got the springs here, the bump stops. We got new dust covers for the rear since the strut is separate from the actual spring. So we'll be swapping those over, and first we'll start getting this taken apart. You got to remove the plastic tray. We'll remove this so we can get access to drop down the suspension. And then we'll be disconnecting some electronics, couple lines, maybe the sway bar. So yeah, we'll get that going right now. Alright, so the first tray is out of the way. So now we have these clips here. So you got to pull up if you have some needle nose pliers, or you can get it going with some just small flathead, get it up, and then pull this out, and then we can remove this plastic piece out next. Alright, so we got all your electrical disconnected, so it's pretty easy. You just push in on a tab, it slides off there, here, and then this is just like a rubber grommet. So we're going to disconnect this so the brake line doesn't get any tension when we go to pivot this out. Alright, so already got the end link disconnected. You can see where those threads are. They actually go right into the back of the body of this strut housing. So it's a 16mm nut. You knock that out, push that through, you kind of give it a wiggle, that comes out. Got the bottom starting to jack up here. That way you're putting tension on the springs here, and the tension on there. You want to get the nut here. It's a 18mm. So now that that's in place, this has tension. I'm gonna get my clamps out. So I'm still gonna put clamps on the springs just so you know when you go to unsettle the spring and drop the weight off of it. That way nothing shoots out. You always want to keep those contained. Alright, now that we have those positioned, snug them down here. It's probably good there. So come up top, take that nut out, and then allow the suspension to slowly drop as it unsettles. Alright, so the jack's all the way down, so we'll give this a shake. There we go. See it separating there. So what we'll do, I'll try and swing this out. We should be able to come all the way out now. Alright, so what I had to do, I had to just kind of push down right on the rotor and kind of get it right out. There's a lip right in there where you got to clear these threads, and then you kind of just shimmy it, comes right out, just barely clears this. So now we have it like this. There's stock springs, so we'll get the new one set up and put the new bump stop on this. Alright, so now we'll put the new bump stop on there. We'll end up moving that back up once get everything positioned. So that looks seated. Right over here. So you want to make sure your spring lines up, and kind of self-explanatory, but you can see that right there where the end should go. So then we'll be transferring over the new cover. Alright, so now that we got everything pretty much in place, spring looks good, everything's aligned. So before we start jacking this up, you want to take a look where this is kind of chalked, the yellow. We're going to want to match it up with that. That way we know everything's aligned. So before you get fully jacked up in place, that's what we'll be doing. Alright, so all your electricals back hooked up. Everything should be connected there. Brake line should be hooked back up. And then check these. So those can pop out pretty easy. You see for ABS and the sensors there. Make sure all those grommets are pressed in. But yeah, that's what it should look like. Alright, so already got the other side of the front done, the other rear's done, so we kind of know what to expect for this. So if you take a closer look, so what we'll be doing here, you'll remove this electrical. These grommets will pop out, so you get those to clear out of the way. You'll have to remove this under tray for the control arm here. And then back here, just on the driver's side, they have this, you can see right where my finger is, there's this piece you'll have to move the tab so that arm swings out. That's for the headlight leveler. So it's just on the driver's side. We'll put tension underneath the hub here and jack up a little bit. And then there'll be 2 bolts and 2 nuts. One's for the strut, one's for the control arm where it attaches to the hub. Not sure if you can see back here. It's probably somewhere around in here behind this arm. But the strut's an 18 millimeter, and then the bolt going into the control arm is a E20. So yeah, we'll get that going, and then we'll be able to take the spring out by pushing down on the control arm, and then after that we'll actually be coming in back up to the strut. So if we take a look up here, you'll have a couple more bolts there. We'll end up dropping this strut out because we'll have to change the bump stops, which is kind of a hassle. We did on the other side, so we'll show you what we did with that. All right, so we got everything out of the rear here. So here's the strut. Take this little boot off. I already have the nut loose on this. Nut will come off. Top comes off. You'll remove this dust cover and bump stop. This is the new one, all preset. So this is kind of a hassle. So it's kind of the same on both sides, but there's a lip. You have to push this up through to the top, and it kind of sits right on this lip here. Then you'll come over the top, and then it's gonna be really tough. So you hold the bottom of that. So basically, you're gonna get to about here, and you have to get past this taper, which it will flex, but it's gonna be kind of hard. I put a little bit of grease on this to do the other side, but you kind of gotta be patient. You gotta get past this. Therefore, this has enough clearance so you can bolt it down. So that's what you need to do, and we'll get after it.
So when you're disconnecting this automatic headlight leveler, we couldn't find anywhere online or anywhere that said not to use this. This is extremely hard to get off. You have to pinch all 4 sides, and then there's a little clip on the right. So it's actually much easier. You just do a 10 mil. You can just take this one bolt out, unclip it, and pull it down. You can leave everything plugged in, we just did, and this attaches to the arm, so it saves you a little bit of time.
All right, so all the suspensions all put back in, everything's done and buttoned up. So next we'll be putting the new raised wheels on, lowering it, and see what it looks like. So the car's all ready. We'll get the wheels set up, and actually first we got a carbon fiber spoiler to put on. It's like a duckbill style, so we'll actually fit this up now, and then we'll put the raised wheels on and see what it looks like. That's the finished product. Springs settled. That looks sick. Let me come around this side. Yeah, it's pretty flush.